Hello, everyone. My name is Gabe Fernandez, and welcome to Control Alt Life. This is a podcast where we talk about life, business, family, success, failure, the lessons that nobody teaches, and the mistakes most of us learn the hard way. Before we get started, as always, no politics. Because this episode isn't about Republicans, it's not about Democrats, it's not about the government, it's about us. Because if we're honest, most of the problems we complain about every day didn't start in Washington. They started in our homes, our workplaces, our schools, our neighbors. And sometimes they started with the person staring back at us in the mirror every day. Now, today I want to talk about something that seems to be disappearing faster than payphones: common sense. Now, I know every generation says, well, back in my day, and I'm not here to say everything 50 years ago was better, because it wasn't. People made mistakes then too. They had problems. They argued. They struggled. But somewhere along the way, we replaced common sense with convenience. We replaced responsibility with excuses. We replaced wisdom with opinions, and everyone has an opinion. You don't even have to earn one anymore. You just wake up, grab your phone, and tell the world exactly how everyone else should live. And here's the funny part: most of us haven't even figured out our own lives. It's true. Now, have you noticed that everyone's an expert now? You ever watch someone spend 4 minutes on YouTube and suddenly they're a gynecologist? I'm just playing. Or they're correcting the guy that's been doing it for 30 years. I'm pretty sure that's not how you do that, they say. You don't hold that this way. You don't do that this way. But somehow they're coaching. Now, the same thing goes for doctors, mechanics, teachers, business owners, parents. Everybody has an advice, and very few have experience. There's a reason pilots don't learn to fly by watching short videos. There's a reason why surgeons don't practice on social media. Knowledge takes time. Wisdom takes mistakes. And common sense usually comes from making enough bad decisions that you finally learn what not to do. Here's something that I've noticed. We celebrate announcements more than accomplishments. Think about it. When someone says, I'm going to start a business, great, start it. I'm going to lose weight. Awesome, lose it. I'm writing a book. Perfect, finish it. I'm starting a podcast. Fantastic. Let me know when you record episode 3. Because starting something is exciting, finishing something is rare. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards consistency. You know what pays your bills? Not motivation, discipline. Because motivation disappears and discipline shows up anyway. Now, everybody wants a raise. Nobody wants more responsibility. Everybody wants respect, but nobody wants to be respectful. Everyone wants customers, but nobody wants to answer the phone. And everybody wants 5-star reviews, but nobody wants to provide 5-star service. Everybody wants forgiveness, but nobody wants to apologize. Everyone wants loyalty, but nobody wants to be loyal. Everybody wants honesty until honesty hurts their feelings. Now, here's a simple experiment that I want you to do. Go to dinner, put 4 people at the table. Don't say anything, just wait. Within 30 seconds, somebody reaches for their phone, not because it rang, not because it was an emergency, but because silence has become very uncomfortable. We used to talk, now we scroll. We used to ask questions, now we Google them. We used to disagree and still be friends. Now someone disagrees with us and we act like they've committed a crime. Now here's another thought. The news makes money when you're afraid, not when you're peaceful. If every headline tomorrow said everything is fine, guys, families are getting stronger, crime is down, people are helping each other out, businesses are thriving, how many people do you think would watch the news then? Probably not many. Why? Because fear sells, outrage sells, conflict sells. That doesn't mean that you should ignore what's happening in the world. That means don't let the loudest voices in the room become the only voices that you listen to. Pay attention. Don't let fear become your lifestyle. Now, here's something that I had to learn the hard way. The easiest person to fool is yourself. I'll start Monday. I'll make that phone call tomorrow. I'll apologize later. I'll spend more time with my family next week. We all tell ourselves these little stories until one day there aren't any Mondays left. Life doesn't stop while we're making excuses. It just keeps moving, and it moves fast. Sometimes we can't even keep up. I mean, think about it. We're already in August. What happened to January and February? And eventually you look back and you realize you spent your years planning instead of living. Now, I want to do this episode 12 in 3 parts just because it's so long. Okay. When we come back, I want to talk about the biggest problems I see today. It's not laziness. It's not intelligence. It's not money. It's not entitlement. I'm sorry. It is entitlement. And I think it's quietly become one of the biggest obstacles to building a strong family or a strong business, strong community. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Control Alt Life. If this episode encouraged you, share it with someone that may need a little bit of encouragement today. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, keep learning, keep growing, and remember the world is hard enough. Let's not make it any harder. If we do things better, things will get better. We'll see you next time.